All right, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to another Checo Forex live stream. I hope everybody had a fantastic day. And today's brand new day. And we have Core PCE coming in today at about 2 hours or so. 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, right? So let's dive in and do our top-down analysis here and see where we are, right? All right. So we're on the Nasdaq 1 hour time frame. Um, Yesterday we had this massive impulsive move up, right? And now we're coming right back down, and we came right back down to support. Look at this, right back at support. Now we're kind of trying to break down. Um, you know, the uh, the core PCE data that's coming out today, could either push the market down or drive it back up. We do have a gap here that hasn't been filled, so we gap down here, and we've been driving down ever since, making a correction to this move up. So um, yeah, yesterday I had taken sells right around here. Yeah, took some sells here, and then we did come down some profit. Then we went into drawdown. Um, yeah, but now we're kind of just been holding this trade. I have that on my signals platform. Yeah, I'm currently not holding it. I closed mine on this account, so um, I'm waiting to see if we're gonna break below the support here and kind of drive down to the bottom of the range here, or are we gonna hold at the support and start looking for buys up here? So let's keep an eye on that, because we might want to target the gap fill here. Let's see. As far as the 4 hour, yeah, look at the 4 hour time frame. I mean, we wicked up here, and look at that. We've been driving down for a while now, and yeah, now we hold here and see if we're gonna break or continue to move up. So current 4 hours currently bearish at the moment. So let's see what happens with the Nasdaq. We might get another entry here on stream later on today. Um, take a look at gold. I have some gold sales running here, I think. All right, let's see. Yep, yeah. I mean, I'm break even on this trade already. Um, yeah, I'm targeting this level, the support level down here. We're currently up. I don't know. Yeah, we're currently up about 45 pips or so. Yep. So we're holding this trade here, but I want to see if I can find an entry here on stream with you guys. Let's see. So on the 1 hour, we hold on before anything. So this is what you know. We had this double bottom here, and then we have this push up and then the pull back down, right? So this is where this impulsive move right here, this entire move up, started down here, right? So before I even draw that up, let me just move this line up here. Yeah. So, right now we're still currently bullish on gold. We got this impulsive move up, and now this could be just a little bit of a correction. It might come down halfway up. I mean, halfway down, right? Or come down to test where I have the TP here, come down, tap in. It'll hit the TP on the sell we have currently open, and then, continue to hit the top of the range up here. So what I'm waiting for initially to go bearish. I mean, I'm currently bullish as long as we remain above this support right here. If we were to come down and break below there, I would think that that we will be moving down. It'll change everything here for us to become bearish again. So looking at the daily, so that support level is the right there. You see the wick? That's where the line is. That's the previous day wick. We haven't taken out the previous day highs. This bullish closure, right? This could just be a bottom wick, right? It could just be a bottom wick for the daily to reflip and continue to move up, probably take out these highs, maybe come all the way up here, maybe grab this wick high, or at least test the resistance here. So we'll wait to see if this candle can continue to push down. As long as it remains above this support, we could assume that this thing might want to continue to move up. If we break the previous day lows, if we start coming down and this daily candle closes below here, by the end of the day, yeah, we're going to target this low down here. I have marked it up. Let me just delete this. We're probably, yeah, definitely probably coming down to this level here at about 33.15, more or less, right? That's off the daily. Let's look at the 4-hour real quick. Yeah, so the 4 hours, this is moving bearish here a little bit. I just want to see if we're going to come down and tap this previous day low here. And previous day highs have not been taken yet either. So we got to see. We're going to see how we're going to move here on gold. I would expect a little bit more of a pull down. And if we hold, we could see this thing reflip to the upside here. So I'm waiting on it. Yeah, current 1 hour is bearish right now. So we already took out the previous hourly lows. We do have this minor support here. This is on the 1 hour right here. We formed this support on the way up, popped up a little bit, came down, and this previous 1 hour closed below. We came up and retested and took out the low. So this is a good sign that we might continue to drop here. And if that's the case, then I'll wait and see. Honestly, if this flips bullish and comes back up into the range here, then this could have been the low to that correction, and we're gonna start moving up. But I need to see it form some sort of support here. Maybe on the 30-minute, it'll give us something more of a confirmation. Yeah, so you see we got this bearish close, right? We got the break, then the confirmation below swept and broke the previous 30 lows. Now we already broke the previous 30 lows. Now we might be coming up here, maybe to make a steeper wick to reflip. Yeah, it has about 12 minutes left, so I want to see how this candle is going to close, and then I don't know if we're going to start rolling back up. If that's the case, I might even close this position here and then just wait to take some buys back up. Yeah, 1 hour is starting to pull back a little bit here on gold. I'll keep an eye on it. We're in that entry there, but that was a trade off my signals platform, so we're currently in profit there. I just want to see what NAS is going to do here. And man, we got this gap fill, but at the end of the day, sometimes this thing could just rip down and come back for that gap much later, maybe next week or the week after that. But core PCE coming out 8:30, so we got big news coming out today, and we got to see, is it going to tank the market or rip it back up? So we'll have to wait. But if we rip down, that might drive it all the way down to the support down here. Yep. Left. Look at this huge gap down here, and that gap has been filled, right? So we filled this massive gap here. We did that yesterday with this push up, filled the gap, and now we're starting to come back down here. So let's see if this thing's gonna roll over and start ripping down, or is it gonna respect? Look at that, you see? Look at this resistance, and there's all resistance right here, Then we broke out of it, came down to retest, and we're currently now previous resistance, now turn support, and now we're holding here. Right, we're respecting that. So this could have been, again, just after this impulsive move, this could be just a correction for this thing to pop back up and continue to make all-time highs, right? Or towards the all-time highs, which are up here. You know, this thing could want to come and continue all the way up here. I think core PCE is really gonna dictate where that's gonna go. And again, it could go either way. We just have to wait to see how the data comes out at 8:30, and we'll decide what we're gonna do. So it gets very volatile. I mean, we could get a huge spike down, we could get a huge spike up, and we'll see. We'll see where this is going. For now, we gotta wait, right? Nothing to do right now. Nothing set in. This is a good setup here because I would say, you know, if we get a closure below, I'll be interested in the sells, but it'll be a little tough depending on what time that decides to happen. If it's too close to the news, I might consider waiting for news to come out. And you know, I don't know if I'll have that much time on stream today because I got a couple things to do. So I'm not sure we'll get a move on that right now. If it happens early enough, we might take a swing at it and see if we'll get some moves down to the bottom here of this range, and then we can catch a quick sell on stream. But if not, then you know, it'll be a no trade day here on stream. And then if I see the opportunity later in the day, then I'll definitely send signals in my signals platform. Gold does look good to come down. Yeah, you see we're starting to come back down, and we have 8 minutes for this candle closure. I'm gonna wait. Again, the trade I took during London is in profit here, but I'm gonna try to see if I can get an entry here on stream with you guys to see if we can you know, take advantage of this drop here. Yeah, I might be targeting these lows down here, but I want to see. Right now it's looking really good. Again, we broke out, came up, retested, flipped, took out the previous lows, and we got 7 minutes left. If we get this 1 hour candle to close bearish, that'll be a good sign, and then we can you know, assume that we're gonna get some sort of a top wick here, right? To then reflip, and that's probably what I'll be waiting for, to take some sells on gold to catch it down to the bottom of the range here. We're running about 60 pips in profit here on my initial entry here. I want to wait and see if we get something here. I'm expecting some sort of continuation down here. My hope is that it'll come and take out, you know, this previous day low here. This was all yesterday. And we caught this move on live stream yesterday. If you guys were on the stream yesterday, you know, we caught this move up right here, right? And then when it started pulling back, I took profits here. And then shortly after I got off the stream yesterday, then this thing just started I mean, look at that. It didn't hit the TP. The TP I had on stream was up here, but I think it ran like almost, I think it went up as far as like 190 something pips. So yeah, we caught that entry right around here on stream yesterday. Actually low, we got it in at 3396, so we got in down here somewhere. So yeah, gang, that whole move happened after. So let's see what happens. Look at that beautiful move down here. Yeah, we're pushing down here. We're pushing down nicely. So again, this candle is gonna close in 5 minutes. So let's wait these 5 minutes and see if we get a move on gold. Maybe we get a little bit of a pullback and a continuation to the downside, right? All right, let's see where we are here. Let's see. All right, brand new candle. 1 hour candle just closed. Bearish. Beautiful move down here. Got the break, retest, and then the pullback. Now I'm waiting for top wick here now. You might be looking for some sell entries here, gang. Yeah, we pulled up to make this top wick here. All right, gang. Yeah. Oh, snap! This thing flip quick. Hurry up. Dang. Give me that late. All right, gang. I'm in a sell here. I wanted to get it up here. All right. It's cool. We're in here. All right. Took a sell on gold here. It made it somewhat of a top wick. It could come up a little steeper, but we're in it now. So I took this entry here with you guys on stream. Yeah, my stop loss is probably gonna be just above this previous 1 hour high, right around up here. I'll say 34.10. And then my TP is gonna be down to this level there. I'll say right support here. Yeah. 3397. Yeah, pulled up here a little bit. I wanted the entry right up here, but it's okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah, so that's our trade here. We took a sell on gold. And yeah, our entry was right here. Okay. Use here. Stops are right above our high right. That's our trade. See what happens. So I took these pineapples here. I'm already break even, but this trade is something I took earlier this morning for London, and we just took a new entry here. So this is us right here on stream, and yeah, we're right around break even for those who want to get in. Range here. Give me 1 sec. I'm just setting something up. All right. Yeah, we haven't broken the previous 1 hour lows here. We got in. I tried to get in when I clicked on it. This thing has a delay, so I was trying to get in when this candle was still bullish. So my entry would have been, yeah, right around 3406, close to that 3405.70, and it activated me at 3405. All right, but it's all good. It's like a 7 pip difference. Yeah, we're good. All right, so we're in some drawdown here. That's like 7 or 8 pips or so. All right, gang, let's hang in there and see where we're at here. Now we wait. I'm gonna flip over to the 30-minute here, just to monitor the trade and see where it leads. It's just a little bit. All right. All right. That's our trade right here, right on screen. All right. Let's see what happens here. And let's see if we get this thing to start pushing down here. See if I can, might be able to show you guys something real quick. This thing doesn't get too much in the way. I want to zoom out real quick and just show you guys something crazy. Let me get rid of these lines here, actually. And this is just like the big picture outlook of everything, right? So let me zoom out on the daily. Just move this out of the way here, just so I can draw the charts. All right. So trade locker, we got this gap to fill here, but it's not necessarily what I'm trying to point out. Let me see if I can draw this up here. there. Use the peak low right around here. Okay. So look at this uptrend that we've been in, right? So this was the first tap into that, and then we started bouncing, come down, bounced off it, came up here. We kind of consolidated. Look at that, tap down here, tapped right here. So, you know, if I'm looking for a potential target, this is off the daily, so mind you, it's a huge move down. You know, this thing could come down here and tap into this level here, right around that 33. What is this here? You know, 33.40. You know, it can bounce around here and then push up. Then if you take, say, let me do a trend line right here. Look, let me extend this one. If I were to continue this line up to the top here, right? Look at that. So if you take the all-time high here, right around 3,500, and this trend line, so you know, we might make a correction down here perhaps, and then it'll start bouncing up and down in this area, up and down, and eventually it's gonna, this triangular pattern is gonna start shrinking in, and then it's either gonna break up to the top or break down to the bottom. Now, my guess is that, you know, it wants to make a little bit of a correction now to continue to move up. We might, you know, sweep these highs like I mentioned. That might even happen today, and it's gonna target the all-time high. Now, if we break the all-time high, let me show you this. Let me try to see if I want to go back a lot further. I'm trying to see if I can go back to like December, March. Yeah, so this would be December. Yeah, right around here. Yeah, because this is when we started that move up, right? So I could even stretch this out like this. Look, I could stretch it out that far out when it started this little consolidation right here. Look at that uptrend, right? But then if you take one from the top, right? And you take it right through that very wick high. I want to make sure I make it right here. All right, let's just say that. Let me just drag it down slightly, right there. So from these highs in December, right? If I zoom in just a little bit, so you see these highs here. If I start that trend line from here all the way up, it taps right there. So we got that touch on the all-time high, and if you stretch it out, it gives us an idea, right? Just a potential target. So my guess, if we come up and we break the all-time highs on gold, this orange line, and we start pushing up here, you see how we moved up, right? We made a move up after we came down here since December. We've been just boom and made this all-time high. Then we pulled back, and then, you know, we just been ranging. We never came back to the all-time high. So we've gotten close, right? But we formed this big resistance right here. If we were to break that and come up, if we close on the daily time frame, even on the monthly, and we get a break of this level here, then this gives us an idea, right? Because it's never been this high. So there's no real resistance to measure how high it can go, right? There's no resistance up to the upside, right? So what I would say, if we break, you know, we can have an idea that, you know, gold can come up to like 4,000, more or less, you know. So this other trend line from back in December, if you draw it across like that and allowing this to touch here and then just kind of keeping it steady all the way across, once we break out, you know, we have a potential target. So yeah, we break 3,500, this thing might come up another 5,000 pips and tap somewhere up here and around the 4,000 area up here. So just wanted to show you guys that, you know, just to give you a long-term vision, because I think the long-term gold is bullish. Gold is going to continue to move up. It'll definitely get to 4,000. How fast? I'm not sure how long it'll take to get up there, but it will. It'll definitely get up there. So That's how I see the move happening on gold, but that doesn't mean it's gonna happen today. You know, we might get a little bit of a correction. Now, if we break this, now let's do it on the opposite. If we were to break, right? If we were to break this right here, I'm sorry, this right here, yeah, this support right here, yeah, right here, that touch, that touch, that touch. If we come down and break that, then we're gonna come down to the bottom here, and more likely than not, we're gonna hit that 31. Yeah, maybe that 3,000 right around either this or this right here. So yeah, it'll come down to this low right around here somewhere. So that, yeah, if we break below this, first of all, we got the this upwards trend line already here. But if we come down, break that, we'll come down about 3250. And if we swipe the 3250 area right down here, yeah, it'll come down to 3,000 down here. So you know, that could be where we will see the push up. But if it keeps respecting, look, it's been respecting this whole time. It's just been ranging, then boom, we get the pop up. So it might never come back down here. So, but yeah, I would expect at least some sort of correction, at least in the near term, to somewhere around maybe, I would say, what, 30, about 34 or 33.15, 33.20 range, right around this support, if anything. But we do have this trend line, so it might cut off around 33.50 and then pop off. So just something to, keep an eye on, where our support resistance levels are, and gives you an idea of potential targets. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I was trying to show you guys here. I'll clear the board here, and let me drag this back down here somewhere and then move it over to the 1 hour. Oh, look at that. Where did my sign go? It's probably all the way up here somewhere. Where did it go? Did I delete it? Oh no, it probably stayed up here somewhere. Nope, I lost it somewhere. All right, I'll just make a new one. Or did I? Let me see. Is it still on the daily somewhere? Sometimes when you switch these charts, it does that. Yes, this is annoying. There it is. Okay. Yeah, it's probably just move it down here. Hopefully that'll work. Nope. Oh boy. All right, that's better. Boy, this sign is crazy. All right, we're making a top wick here. See how it's pulling back up here? All right, we're in some drawdown here on this second entry, but we're in drawdown about 15, no, yeah, about 13, 14 pips. No big deal. Nothing crazy. Let's give it some room to move, and we'll see how it plays out here. We'll wait to see if this is just making a steeper wick here, perhaps, and we'll get the reflip. Once we re-break the lows after making this top wick here, we should be good to continue down. But let's see. Hopefully this top wick doesn't want to come up and all the way up here, you know. But it's definitely normal price action. You know, we got the break below support here. Then we confirmed, right? Breaking those lows. Now this candle's, you know, naturally, just like this one made a top wick before it flipped and broke the lows and closed down here. This needs to make a top wick as well. Once we reflip, it'll start coming down, re-break these lows. We should get a decent push to the downside. What we don't know is how high is this top wick gonna be. You know, it could be as long as this one. It could be as small as this one, you know, so we just have to wait. That's it. We're in the trade, and it's all in the hands of probability now. So, yes, I put the stop loss just above the previous 1 hour wick. That's why my stops are here. If it comes up and breaks those highs and taps us out, that's it. We're out of the trade, and we wait for the next setup. But for now, what we're waiting is this candle can come up. You know, as long as it's also, this helps us understand where price action is going. This resistance level, you know, if it kind of comes up and rejects from there and then gets pushed back down and so on, and then it starts to roll over, that's a good sign too. So let's see if we're gonna get a push down here and take some profits, and then also wait for news. We got news coming in a little over an hour, so that should be very, very crazy in the market. So I honestly prefer to, you know, get this trade to move for us in the next, you know, 20-30 minutes or so, and you know, secure our profits, go break even, do all that good stuff, and lock in some profits. Because, you know, sometimes news could spike it up, you know, but also could spike it down. I mean, news can just push it right into our TP right here, so that's also possible. Let's see. Let's hold on to it here, and we're only down 10 pips here, so nothing crazy. We'll wait on it. There we go. We're starting to pull back down here. We got the 30-minute closing in about 7 minutes. So now that we've made a top wick, now let's see if this 1 hour flips, continues to drive down. And I might, you know, once we're in some decent profit, maybe I'll say 20 to 30 pips or so, I might go break even rather quickly here, you know, because we do have news coming in around 8:30. So it's better to go risk-free just in case, you know. But let's see if we get a strong push down. We got comics opening at 8:20 as well, so that might give us some volume to drive us down to finish off this correction down here. Matter of fact, I'm actually close this trade here. I'm up 60 pips here, about 1200. Yeah, I closed that position. Yeah, locked in my profits on that one. Beautiful. A little over 60 pips on that sell there from this early morning. I took that trade around 2 a.m. this morning. Free London. And you know that now that I'm looking at it, there's a fair value gap here. Yeah, we got an FEG here on the 1 hour. Right there. Yep. So that purple box is it's an FEG here. So it's possible we might come in, tap into that FEG, and reject. Our stop loss, excuse me, is above the FEG here. And yeah, wouldn't surprise me if we'll come in and tap and then reject down. But if we come up and break above that fair value gap, then you know we'll get stopped out because it is gonna basically invert that and it'll displace. So if it does that and breaks above this FEG, then we're definitely going back up, and then we can look for potential buys back up in that case. So let's wait and see what happens here. So I'm able to do something. Anyway, yeah, let me explain what the fair value gap is here before. So a fair value gap in this case, I like to visualize it when there's definitely three candles in the same direction. So let me just zoom in, see. me show you guys. So you see this candle here, right? So we closed, and this candle has a bottom wick, right? Let me just delete this real quick. Move this out of the way. So we have this red candle here, right? It has a bottom wick, right? So next candle comes up, right? Closes below. Then this third candle, right? So now we got 1, 2, 3 red candles in a row, right? On the way down. Now the second candle, you see the top wick? The top wick of the third candle, right? Never broke the price of this first red candle below right here. So it leaves this space between this bottom wick of the first candle and the top wick of the third candle, creating this little fair value gap area right here. See? That's the fair value gap from the bottom of the first candle to the top of the third candle. So that space, price tends to come back in to fill that imbalance, right? And what happens is once we come in, we usually tap into it, and there's a middle point to it as well. For example, you would mark the very middle. So I learned recently that this is called what they call a consequential encroachment, which is the middle of the inside of the fair value gap. So a lot of times the candles will come in probably right about that 50% of the fair value gap, which is halfway in, and tap in there. So the way a fair value gap gets invalidated, right, is if this is on the 1 hour. This is a 1 hour fair value gap. So if this candle, right, let's say this candle were to come up and close above the fair value gap, we get a closure, then it displaces, and it's what they call a change of state in delivery. So what it does is that then it breaks out, closes above, then we wait for candle to tap, retap into it, and then that's a confirmation to go up. Once it invalidates the fair value gap, we're buying, buy it all the way back up. But a lot of times it'll come, tap into it, and that's it. Come back down. That's why you look at that, the support levels right here. It's actually a little higher. So that's where we have our resistance. It might wick into it, might tap, maybe go in halfway into the box here. If it gets rejected, then it already tested the fair value gap, got rejected, and we should continue down. But if it closes above, like I said, we'll get stopped out. That's fine. We'll take that L there real quick and then adjust and take the buys up. So that's a fair value gap. And for those who didn't know what that was, I'll delete that middle point there. That also helps me know if my stops could have been above this high here, but sometimes the fair value gap's up here. I'm like, all right, well, look, it's pulling up, we're in drawdown, and you're wondering without this fair value gap, I'm like, man, is it gonna hit stops, or is it gonna go up? It's going the wrong way, we're down 30 pips. It also tells me that this is a level. I would want to see if it's gonna displace, if it's gonna break the fair value gap and close above, right? So sometimes it wicks above it and pulls back down. So it's not so much the wick, it needs to, the body of the candle, the body has to close above the top of the fair value gap right here. Close above that wick, that invalidates. But even if it breaks above it, below, the body of the candle can close inside the box and the fair value gap is still valid. What we can't do is break above it. Yeah, so you see, we didn't tap into the FEG here, but look, we wicked right at the resistance right here. Yeah, that's our support right here. Look at that. We wicked right into it. And look at the rejection. But the FEG is still intact, right? So there's still some room for it to go up. The consequential encroachment has not been tapped into either, and it hasn't displaced either. So everything is moving according to plan. All we got to do is be patient and let price action do its thing, right? All right, we're holding here. Just keep an eye on that. I drew it up there for you guys. Just let's just watch this candle move, right, and wait for it. I'll be right back. All right, gang, here it is. We hit stops here. But you can see, before I even delete this, look at this. What did I tell you? It inverted the FEG. We close above that FEG. So I'm ready to take some buys up here, gang. So let's remove this here. Look at that. Now it's pulling back. You see that bottom wick here? Now I'm gonna wait for it to tap into that FEG and look for some potential buys here. Yeah. Gang, I'm going in big here. That inversion and displacement. All right, guys, I took a buy here. We're in gold buys here, gang, now. I said we make our adjustments with price action. So we trade what we see. I'm gonna have this on a short leash though. I'm gonna leave that FEG there because my stops are gonna be just below that there. So this is how we're gonna play this trade. This is off the 1 hour game, by the way. My stop is gonna be just below the FEG right here. And my TP is gonna be at the top of the range. So I'm targeting the highs up here. All right, gang. So we're in it here. Took some buys on gold, and yeah, let's hold on to it. All right, I just want to do this right here. There we go. All right, gang, that's our trade there. We're gonna go buys here. Take a chance. The reason for the buys, as I told you before, we came down, right? Traded, but now we not only closed above resistance, but we came back into the range and invalidated this FEG. So we're taking this uptown. So hang in there, gang. We'll get our profits back here. Oops. I'll fix that in a minute. All right, guys. So just make sure you make your adjustments and take your trades in and use proper lot size. And I went in a little bit bigger on this trade. The probabilities are high. So this is an A+ setup here, but my stops are shorter than the previous trade. So I have it just below the FEG here. So that's our trade, gang. So took some buys on gold, and let's see what happens here. All right. All right, gang. Yeah, I gave it another shot there, but yeah, it didn't work out. I was typing up the information here to catch the ride up. So what I was explaining to you guys, what I was trying to draw up. So we had this FEG here, right? Right there, right? So we had the FEG, but look at how the candle popped up and invalidated it, closed above that box there, right? Now, normally the candle will come up. The first trade we took on the buy side, our stops was here. Look, it came down, just tapped us out, and then flipped. It actually flipped bullish for a moment, and we just ripped right back up. So when it came back down, I took another entry around about 20 pips, on a 20 pip advantage around 34.08, and now this thing should rip up here, but I might consider it. I'm thinking news could probably propel us to the upside here, gang. We hit BE on the previous trade, so all right, took a buy here, gang. One more try. I'm banking on news popping us up here. Let me give it a world here. I'm okay with that. This is me trading, gang. I mean, you guys don't. You can sit out, wait out for the news. I'm gonna try to, take advantage of it. So I'm going to the top of the range here. Catch that whole range fill there. I'm in it here. I'm in it right here. Let's see. Let's see if it plays out. Let me mark this up this way. All right, there's another attempt at this move, right? Let's see if it plays out or not. We'll see. All right. Let's see if news gonna push us up or tap us out here. And mind you, when news comes out, this thing could just spike and rip to the downside. So, but I'm taking that risk for myself here. But yeah, my stops are just below this 1 hour wick here. I'm not dropping it down here or anything. Just want to see if we get that move up. As soon as this thing flips bullish, if it flips, I'm going to break even. All right, 2 minutes to news, gang. If you're taking this buy here, make sure you don't over leverage. Like I said, if it runs up, great. But if it spikes down, we gotta account for slippage sometimes and things like that. So don't go in too crazy. Don't anticipate this thing's gonna pop up. I'm taking a little bit more risk here because I can, but don't be risking or blowing your account on this trade on news here. Gonna pop up. Oh, we got a few seconds. You're gonna move up or down? Moving up here. All right, we gotta move up here. If it flips, I'm going break even. Flip, break even. I'm break even, gang. I'm break even, gang. I'm running 1700 in profit. Oh, I'll come back down. Oh, snap. Is it going to go back up? Come on, gold. It broke the highs here, gang. Clean this by here. All right. I'll take partials here if we hit that. All right. Yeah. I went break even, gang, on this trade. Don't have the information up because everything's happening so fast. So I want to see if we pop up here. Come on. Come on, gold. This move, yeah, this about 60 pips here. So I'll look to take partials there, and we should have a runner up. But let's see if it wants to continue to move up, or is it gonna pull back down? Let's see. Let's see. This thing's running back down here. Come on, gold. Flip. I mean, already broke the previous high, so I would expect it to continue to move up, but let's see. Is it gonna come down and wick us out or continue to move up? Oh, yep. It'd be all right. Yeah, well, yeah, no risk on that trade. Figured it was worth a shot, but yeah. Yep, we gotta let news play out here, and yeah, I might have an entry later. So let's see. All right, gang. Yeah, we tried with gold here. Thought it was gonna pop off with news and come all the way up to the top, but didn't really make a significant move here. So yep, I'm gonna call it here, gang. Yeah. That's it. If anything, my what is it? My platform members, we'll be trading the New York session. I'll wait for news to kind of die out here and process. Look at this thing coming up now. Gold could potentially pop up here. It could potentially come up here. So I might be considering more buys later, but I'll wait for news to kind of let the market process the information, and we'll see what happens. All right, gang. I hope everybody has a great rest of the day. Remember, don't over risk, don't over trade, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we'll be back at it next week. All right, peace out. Hey, look at this thing running up now, running up now. Hit RBE to flip. I think it's gonna go up. So keep an eye on that, gang. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you.